Hey there, welcome everybody to another edition of TXN Sports World. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are maybe awaiting the presence of Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we will catch him up on what he missed. Or if not, then we'll have him back with us tomorrow night. Yes, MF? All right. Anyways, Michael Bullock, we are awaiting the presence of him. If he comes in, like I said, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If he's not on, then we'll hopefully have him back with us tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. TXN Sports World this week, we got two bits of hot stove stuff. I mean, we got NFL free agency, the notable moves, and there are plenty of notable moves. And we're not going to, go one at a time or any of that. We're going to try to get them as far out into the open as we can. And the same can be said for the notable moves of the NHL trade deadline. We're going to be addressing both of those here tonight. And in our main event, it will be all about championship week in college basketball, the conference tournaments well underway. Of course, we'll be focusing on the Power 5 conferences. MF's ACC, my Big East, as well as the Big 10, the Big 12, and the SEC. And that is our docket for this evening. So without any further ado, let's dive on in. The first thing that we're going to get into, as I announced the other night when I made the executive decision the other night, because I felt that it needed to be addressed. NFL free agency. Oh my goodness. Just as wild and crazy as it was a year ago. And just seeing all these moves that have been made over the last throughout this week has been absolutely insane. So with that being said, let's address the elephants in the room when it comes to NFL free agency. Major moves all over the place. And some of them, a lot of these are mind-bogglers, to say the least. Others, no big surprises. So, all right. So let's. I'll do the best I can to go in the proper order here. So, all right. So here we go. First thing, we're taking a look at everything here. We got extensions, we got releases, we got trades, the whole 9 yards. And the first, we're not going to really address the, some releases we will, but others we won't, because the person released has found a new home. So the first big move, the Cincinnati Bengals placing the franchise tag on T. Higgins. T. Higgins, franchise tagged by the Cincinnati Bengals. The Dallas Cowboys extending Osa Odigizua. He got extended. The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, to the surprise of none of us, they extended Saquon Barkley. He becomes the first running back in NFL history with a $20 million a year contract. Unbelievable. Excuse me. The Chicago Bears made a big splash. They traded for a Kansas City Chief. Joe Thuney traded from Kansas City to Chicago. Sam Hubbard of the Cincinnati Bengals, he announced his retirement. The Seattle Seahawks released Tyler Lockett. The Las Vegas Raiders extended their best defensive player, Max Crosby. He's staying in Las Vegas. As is Zach Bond. He is staying with the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Christian Kirk was released by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he now has a new home. Divisional rival Houston. Christian Kirk going to the Houston Texans. The Washington Commanders, the biggest surprise of the NFL last season, they've made some moves. They re-signed Bobby Wagner. He's staying in Washington. They did release Jonathan Allen. We'll get to that in a moment. Tampa Bay Buccaneers re-signing Levante David. Levante David staying in Tampa Bay. This was one of the first big bomb moves here. The Las Vegas Raiders trading for Geno Smith. Geno Smith leaving Seattle. He's going now to Las Vegas. The Buffalo Bills, a contract extension on one of our best defensive players, Greg Rousseau. He's staying in Buffalo. So that's good news for us, Bills Mafia, and we got plenty more to come in that department. The Cincinnati Bengals re-signing MF's old friend, Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki staying in Cincinnati. Hollywood Brown staying with the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have re-signed Hollywood Brown. Ronnie Stanley, his name came up in a lot of rumors. Well, those rumors can be put to rest. He's staying in Baltimore. Ronnie Stanley signing an extension with the Baltimore Ravens. Zach Ertz is staying in Washington. Zach Ertz staying with the Washington Commanders. Buffalo Bills releasing Von Miller. Von Miller released by the Buffalo Bills. Grateful for his few years down there, no question about that. Especially that great play he made in that divisional game against Baltimore. That I felt was the difference in that game, honestly. A young man, one of the best defensive players in the game today, we thought was going to find a new home. Nope. Myles Garrett is staying in Cleveland. Largest non-quarterback contract on a per-year basis. That goes for him and for Max Crosby as well. The two biggest guys that were out there, they're staying where they're staying put. Crosby staying in Vegas, Garrett staying in Cleveland. The Kansas City Chiefs, they kept another one of their best defensive players. Nick Bolton is staying in Kansas City. Zadarius Smith released by the Detroit Lions. Aaron Jones is staying in Minnesota. He re-signed with the Vikings. Ernest Jones IV, he signed an extension to stay with the Seattle Seahawks. And now this is where things go off the rails here. The Los Angeles Rams signing one of the best receivers in the game today, Davante Adams, going to Los Angeles. My goodness, can you imagine him and Puka Nacua? Yeah, who's going to stop those two? Oh my goodness. A big move for Michael Bullock and his New England Patriots as they signed Harold Landry from the Tennessee Titans. Very big deal there. He's a good defensive player. 3-year, $43.5 million deal, $26 million fully guaranteed. For Davante Adams, it's 2 years, $46 million, $26 million guaranteed. Bills Mafia, great, the best possible news we could get. Our franchise quarterback, our MVP, he ain't going nowhere. JA-17, Josh Allen, staying in Buffalo. 6 years, $330 million, 250 of that guaranteed. So our franchise quarterback ain't going nowhere. Great news for Bills Mafia. The Pittsburgh Steelers acquiring DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf was with Seattle. He has now signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 5-year, $150 million deal. Grady Jarrett released by the Atlanta Falcons. J.C. Horn signing an extension with the Carolina Panthers. Khalil Mack, another defender, another marquee defender that was rumored to be on the circuit. Well, he's staying with the LA Chargers. They re-signed him. A 1-year, $18 million deal, fully guaranteed. Tampa Bay signing Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick, 1-year, $14 million deal, $12 million guaranteed. He's going to Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin staying with Tampa Bay, 3-year, $66 million deal, $44 million guaranteed. Sorry, MF, but one of your we have a Dolphin on the move. Braxton Berrios leaving the Miami Dolphins. He signed with the Houston Texans, 1-year, $2 million. Jimmy Garoppolo staying with the Los Angeles Rams, 1-year deal. He will back up Matthew Stafford. Another move for Bullock's Patriots. They signed Carlton Davis, formerly of the Detroit Lions, 3-year, $60 million deal. The Detroit Lions went out and signed DJ Reed, formerly of the New York Jets. Financial specifics not disclosed at this time. Another big move for Bullock's Patriots. They signed Milton Williams to a $26 million per year deal. He's leaving the Super Bowl champs and he's signing with Bullock's Patriots. The Seattle Seahawks. They lost one franchise quarterback in Geno Smith, and they have a new franchise quarterback, Sam Darnold. A 3-year deal worth nearly $100 million. The New York Jets have a new quarterback, Justin Fields, signing with the New York Jets. A 2-year, $40 million deal, $30 million guaranteed. The Arizona Cardinals signing Josh Sweat from the Philadelphia Eagles. 4-year, $76.4 million deal. Josh Sweat to Arizona. JA-17 has a new receiver. The Buffalo Bills signing wide receiver Joshua Palmer from the Los Angeles Chargers. 3-year, $36 million deal. Grady Jarrett has a new home. He's going to the Chicago Bears. Chicago signing Grady Jarrett, 3-year, $43.5 million deal. The Washington Commanders making a trade for Laramie Tunsil and a 4th-round pick. Texans traded Laramie Tunsil and a 4th-round pick to Washington for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th-round picks. The Cleveland Browns they traded Dorian Thompson-Robinson to the Philadelphia Eagles and a 5th-round pick in exchange for Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett going to Cleveland. The Indianapolis Colts signing Charvarius Ward, 3-year deal worth up to $60 million. I don't know how MF's going to feel about this one, but his Miami Dolphins signing Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, 1-year deal with the Miami Dolphins. Unfortunately, Bills Mafia, we do have some bad news to report. One of our best receivers from last season, a breakout receiver for Buffalo last year, Mac Hollins, he's leaving Buffalo and has signed with the New England Patriots. 2-year, $8.4 million deal that maxes out at $10.4 million. I am sure as heck going to miss Mac Hollins, especially those outlandish outfits that he would wear upon arriving to the game. I'll never forget the AFC Championship when he arrived at Arrowhead dressed as Animal from the Muppets. I will never forget that. Dallas Cowboys signing. They have a great new running back, Javonte Williams, formerly of Denver. He's going to Dallas, 1-year, $3 million deal. Denver expected to sign linebacker Dre Greenlaw, 3-year, $35 million deal. Chase Young staying with the New Orleans Saints. Najee Harris has a new team. The Pittsburgh Steelers, he's no longer with Pittsburgh. Najee Harris signing with the LA Chargers, 1-year deal worth up to $9.25 million. San Francisco 49ers releasing Kyle Juszczyk. Minnesota Vikings re-signing Byron Murphy, 3-year, $66 million deal. Vikings acquiring Jonathan. They signed Jonathan Allen from Washington, 3-year, $60 million deal. Unfortunately, MF loses another Dolphin, Javon Holland. He signs with the New York Giants, 3-year deal, $45 million with $30.3 million guaranteed. The Houston Texans, another big defensive move. They traded their guard Kenyon Green to the Philadelphia Eagles for safety CJ Gardner-Johnson. And the Eagles will receive a 2026 fifth-round pick, and the Texans get a 2026 sixth-rounder. Daniel Jones has a new home. The Indianapolis Colts signing Daniel Jones to a 1-year deal. Dallas Cowboys re-signing Kevontae Turpin. Kevontae Turpin staying with Dallas. 3-year, $18 million deal. He becomes the NFL's highest paid special teamer. How about that? New Orleans Saints, they signed a Kansas City Chief, Justin Reed. 3-year, $31.5 million deal. $22.5 guaranteed. Justin Reed now with the New Orleans Saints. Big move for New Orleans. That's definitely going to hurt Kansas City a little bit in that front. The Arizona Cardinals have a new backup quarterback for Kyler Murray. He is Jacoby Brissett. They signed Jacoby Brissett, formerly of the New England Patriots. So Brissett now an Arizona Cardinal. The big bomb here, the Baltimore Ravens, determined to get that bad taste out of that divisional game out against Buffalo out of their mouth. They signed DeAndre Hopkins. 1-year, $6 million deal. DeAndre Hopkins, a Baltimore Raven, another weapon for Lamar Jackson. Buffalo needed a big-time defensive guy. They got one. Joey Bosa. 1-year, $12.6 million deal. Joey Bosa, a Buffalo Bill. How about that? And another round of good news, Bills Mafia. Damar Hamlin. He's staying in Buffalo. 1-year contract extension. So Damar Hamlin, who captured the hearts of all of us a few years back after his scare in Cincinnati, he's staying in Buffalo. Cooper Kupp released by the Los Angeles Rams. No word yet on where he's landing. We'll hopefully have that for you soon enough in the coming weeks. Marcus Mariota staying with the Washington Commanders. The Buffalo Bills traded away Kyer Elam. Kyer Elam, now a Dallas Cowboy. Javon Hargrave going to the Minnesota Vikings. The Denver Hargrave, 2-year, $30 million deal. Evan Engram, released by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's now signed a 2-year deal with the Denver Broncos. So Engram going to Denver. The Pittsburgh Steelers, another big move for them. Darius Slay, 1-year, $10 million deal. He's going to Pittsburgh. DeMarcus Lawrence signing with the Seattle Seahawks. 3-year deal worth up to $42 million, $18 million guaranteed. A.J. Dillon signing with the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. 1-year deal. Rico Dowdle, a breakout star for Dallas last year. He's now got a new home. He's going to Carolina. 1-year, $6.25 million deal. Rico Dowdle, a Carolina Panther. Minnesota Vikings extending Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith staying in Minnesota. Cam Jordan staying with the New Orleans Saints. The Los Angeles Chargers signing Mike Williams. Mike Williams leaving Pittsburgh. He's going to the LA Chargers. 1-year deal with $6 million max value. Michael Bullock's old friend Mac Jones, another new team for him. Mac Jones signing a 2-year, $7 million deal with the San Francisco 49ers. Mac Jones, a 49er. Adam Thielen staying in Carolina. He agreed to a renegotiated contract. He's going to Carolina. Mason Rudolph going back to Pittsburgh. 2-year, $8 million deal. He leaves Tennessee. He's going to Pittsburgh. MF is not going to like this one. A young man who was a damn good running back for MF's Dolphins, a part of that scary offense that they had a couple of years ago. Raheem Mostert, no longer a Miami Dolphin. He signed a 1-year, $2.1 million deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. And I believe, Philadelphia, Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, signed earlier today. They signed Adoree Jackson from the New York Giants. Adoree Jackson, now an Eagle. One of MF's favorite boys. Unfortunately, he's going to a team that we don't really care for. The Kansas City Chiefs signing Gardner Minshew to a 1-year deal. He's obviously he'll probably serve as the backup to Patrick Mahomes, most likely. And the most recent move a couple hours ago, Taylor Heineke staying with the Los Angeles Chargers, a 1-year, $6.2 million extension to serve as the backup for Justin Herbert. And I think I've covered pretty much everything there is to cover here when it comes to NFL free agency. So those are all the big moves. If any more come in, we'll be sure to address accordingly. But I'll tell you what, as far as my team goes, I'm very pleased with the moves. The one that hurts the most for me is losing Mac Hollins. I'm a little gutted by that one, especially with him going to Bullock's Patriots. Just like when Jordan Poyer went to MF's Dolphins last year. I mean, that one gutted me as well. But Buffalo was just fine. They did just fine without him. So wish Mac Hollins the best. And JA-17, mega contract to say the very least. And the franchise is staying and our MVP is staying. And he wouldn't have it any other way. And an absolutely well-deserved contract as well. I couldn't be any happier. And sky's the limit for JA-17, I'm telling you. And you win the MVP, you get all the perks. There's no doubt about it. And you get the accolades. Greg Russo's staying. Happy with that. A great sack guy. He's one of our best sack guys. Joey Bosa. Man, is that going to help Buffalo's defense? My goodness. I mean, we all remember he was a stud at Ohio State, had some good years with the Chargers, and I'm hopeful that he can bring that with Buffalo now that we got him. DeMar Hamlin's staying. I know Ty Johnson's staying, and so I'm mostly pleased with the moves by the Buffalo Bills there. Great moves by Bullock's Patriots. I mean, Mike Vrabel's not playing around. I mean, he wants to bring the Patriots back to prominence after what has been a tumultuous few years for them now. The last 2-3 years, they've gone down the barrel. They've gone down the. They've been one of the bottom feeders of the NFL, and it's great. It's great to see them, making some big moves, getting Harold Landry, getting Carlton Davis, and getting Mac Hollins. That's a great receiver. I'm anxious to see how he'll fit in with Drake May and or Joe Milton. So good moves for the Patriots. Miami, well, Zach Wilson. Oh boy. Interesting move to say the least. And losing Raheem Mostert to the Vegas Raiders. I mean, but then again, Devon Achane, he's proven that he can carry that load. There is no doubt about that. He'll probably be the new RB1 going forward for them. And but the big moves, of course, Devontae Adams going to the LA Rams. Him and Puka Nacua, that is going to be a nightmare for defenders, regardless of who they play. Stafford's coming back, and Garoppolo re-signing, and the Rams will definitely be a team to watch for in the NFC next season. Justin Fields to the Jets. He'll probably be the successor for Aaron Rodgers. It'll be interesting to see how he plays out with the Jets. And Garrett staying in Cleveland. I mean, I'm a little surprised. I mean, especially with how badly he wanted out of there. Boy, howdy, they paid him. They paid him royally, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not letting you go." Same can be said about Max Crosby going to Vegas. I mean, staying in Vegas. I mean, he was another defender that was on the circuit, and he is the heart and soul of that Raider defense. So, I'm not all that surprised that he stayed there. Definitely surprised by Garrett staying. I thought he was going to find a new home. I was hoping it would have been Buffalo, but it is what it is. And so many great moves. I mean, you thought last year was wild. This year has been just as wild, if not more wild. And of course, with the new league year just getting underway, and we'll definitely keep an eye out for any future transactions. If any notable transactions cross the wire, we'll definitely be sure to let you know about them accordingly. So that's all I got to say here. So good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. You heard all the names. You heard all the deals. You thought last year's NFL free agency was nutty. This year, just as much, if not more.
Yeah, no, it started out pretty hot. Once the league year really started, you started looking at all the dominoes that started to go. And especially the most interesting thing was the quarterback play, because it was really the quarterbacks that you started looking at, okay, Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, what was Justin Fields going to do? What was certain players going to do? I think it was really one of those things where, once the first domino dropped, it was going to be a platoon. And oddly enough, from Sam Darnold going to Seattle, then you had Geno Smith going to Vegas. Not many people were happy about Geno Smith going to Vegas initially, but I think with everything going on, it kind of felt like, all right, fine. He's probably going to be the guy. Let's see what Vegas was going to do. It just was really interesting, to say the very least. And then, if you think about it, Miami Dolphin wise, as we got, I will say this. I'm not overly happy about the move, but he is a serviceable backup. And I think that's exactly why they got him. They're not expecting him to be a starter. They're not expecting him to be QB1. He is going to be the backup to Tua Tagovailoa. I don't have a problem with that. Maybe it's good, because now he's going to be working with Josh McDaniel. And Anthony, I must admit, and I know, Tua, the first couple of years, he struggled. Never really had a chance. Never really had a great opportunity. And I think you and I will both agree that Tua was almost destined for failure when he was with Brian Flores. Right or wrong?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And would you...
about that.
All right. Would you agree that ever since Mike McDaniel became the starter, the head coach of the Dolphins, we've witnessed the maturation We finally witnessed the Tua that we've been waiting for more than any other player. So if you think about that, if Josh McDaniel, if Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa can work that accord, imagine what this could happen if Tua gets hurt. Look at what our backup could be if they give him the opportunities, if they give him the look, if they give him the team. Now, the one thing I would say if you're Miami is the one area where we needed to address more than anything else was O-line and maybe defense and defense. You notice so far they've covered some of those bases. Not all, but there's a couple of guys that are nice fill-in spots that we're getting. So if you're a Dolphin fan, you're cautiously optimistic. You're not saying we're going to the Super Bowl. No, we're not. But could a playoff spot be possible for them? Let's see what the NFL draft looks like. Josh Allen, JA17. Now, I will openly admit, the deal was fair. The contract was nice. And the thing is, if you really think about it, Anthony, Josh Allen kind of gave you a little bit of a hometown discount. He did. He took $50 million. His base salary is going to be about $50 million. You know, nowadays, the NFL quarterback is like 60, 65, 70 mil. For 55 mil a year, you got yourself a bargain. And plus, the thing is that you know and I know, everybody else knows, the first 3 years is where it's front loaded. So you're going to be getting a lot out of Allen for the first 4 years. The back end is dead cap. So if he starts falling off the cliff in year 4, year 5, if you want to skedaddle from him, you'll be allowed to do that. That gives you the luxury to do what they need to do. But when you're the MVP, you do everything you've done so well. You deserve the money that you got. So I know you were very pleased seeing that Josh Allen got locked up. To see Joey Bosa go to Buffalo, that was a nice pickup because remember, you lost Von Miller. So you got one dangerous guy on one end. You lose one dangerous guy, but you load up and get another dangerous guy. So that's a big deal. That was a big pickup for Buffalo. So yeah, Buffalo will be fine. New England though. Anthony, we might want to keep a very watchful eye on what's going on in Foxborough, especially next year, because I think the Patriots, they're not all the way back, but they're almost there. We might have a problem, but New England might be, the last couple of years, they've been literally the doormats in the AFC East. Hate to say it, they're not going to be the doormats of the AFC East for far too much longer. Maybe they might have a little bit of some growing pains next year, but I'm going to openly admit this, man. New England is back, and here we freaking go again. The Patriot way might be coming back, and as far as for Anthony and for myself, we're not happy about this. We don't like to see New England prosper. We don't like to see New England getting better. We don't need that. We don't need that on our conscience. No, we don't. Baltimore got better. Baltimore looks like the Super Bowl contender now that they were. Philly loaded up. They're looking good. And the Commanders. Dude, Washington is going to be a problem next year. They are absolutely looking phenomenal. They're loading up on the right players. They're looking really tough. They're looking really strong. And I'm telling you guys, if you thought Washington was amazing last season, next year, the expectations are even more higher now. They had that taste of what the life could have been if they would have gotten to the Super Bowl. They were almost there, even though Philadelphia upended them unbelievably, like a massacre style at the end. But I'm telling you, Philly is good, But Washington's nipping at those heels, man, and they're gaining on Philly, man. So Philly better watch themselves. Washington is poised to make a run next year. I think I'm openly going to admit this, guys. Washington's my sleeper team for next year, that they could get out of the NFC and make it to the Super Bowl next year. So that's the team I would definitely want to keep a very watchful eye on. Obviously, Philly, Detroit are the early favorites. Washington's in the mix, and they're probably my number 3 team right now that I could see come out of the NFC next year for the Super Bowl.
Rams?
Rams are looking pretty good too. Yeah, absolutely. I still like to see a couple of more moves from the Rams. I'm not gonna say they're all the way there back, but they are right now possibly the favorites to win their division. And then definitely they could make a run. And oh, by the way, Matthew Stafford, great move to stay at home. And you also gave them the hometown discount. The fans in LA are going to love you for that, because that shows them that you're a team player. You're not greedy. You're not selfish. You're willing to do whatever it takes to get back to the pinnacle. That was big up on you. That was big up on you, and that was a brilliant move, to say the very least. You're gonna win a lot of favors from the fans in the Rams by doing that move. That was a major move, and that's gonna really benefit you more than anything else. Other than that, Anthony, that's really all I got for at least the NFL. Let's get into the NHL. So you set us up with the notable trades. I'll be right back. Okay.
Oh yes. All right. So with that being said, let's get in now to the NHL trade deadline. NHL trade deadline. I'm going as far back as it went all the way up until March the 7th. So I'm just looking at all the notable moves that have been made, since, the push to the trade deadline. And let's take a look at some of the big moves here. Going as far back as, I don't know how far back to go, how far we should go back, but I'm taking a look at the NHL trade deadline, and all right, bear with me for a moment as I set this up for you all. There were some big moves, a few big moves here and there, and pretty much since the month of March started. But before then, it really kicked into high on February 25th. The Anaheim Ducks got goalie Ville Husso, and the Red Wings got future considerations. February 26th, the Predators got right winger Jesse Ylonen from Tampa Bay for Anthony Angelo. February 27th, Minnesota getting Tyler Madden, a center, and the Kings getting defenseman Joseph Ciccone. March 1st, this is really when the trade deadline really started to pick up here. The Colorado Avalanche and the New York Rangers made a trade. The Avalanche getting Ryan Lindgren, Jimmy Vesey, and rights to the prospect Hank Kemp. And the Rangers in return got Calvin DeHaan, Juuso Pärssinen, 2025 second-round pick, 2025 fourth-round pick. Minnesota Wild getting right winger Gustav Nyquist, and the Nashville Predators getting a 2026 second-round pick. The Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers getting Seth Jones and a 2026 fourth-round pick from the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago getting goalie Spencer Knight and a conditional 2026 first-round pick. The next day, then on March 4th, a 3-team trade with the Edmonton Oilers, the Boston Bruins, and the New Jersey Devils. Edmonton Oilers getting Trent Frederic, Max Jones, and the rights to prospect Peter Hauser. The Boston Bruins got Max Wanner and a second-round pick in 2025 and a fourth-round pick in 2026. And the Devils got the rights to prospect Shane LaChance. And then on the day of March 5th, this is really when it started to get nuts. Florida Panthers getting goalie Vitek Vanecek from the San Jose Sharks in exchange for Patrick Giles. A three-team trade with the Tampa Bay Lightning, Seattle Kraken, and the Detroit Red Wings. Tampa Bay Lightning getting center Yanni Gourde, right winger Oliver Bjorkstrand, defenseman Kyle Aucoin, a 2026 fifth-round pick, and a retention of, and they also retained 50% of Gourde's salary. Seattle getting center Michael Eyssimont, a 2025 second-round pick from Toronto, a 2026 first-round pick, and a 2027 first-round pick. San Jose Sharks getting Vincent Desharnais from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh getting a 2028 fifth-round pick. Nashville getting left winger Michael Bunting, a 2026 fourth-round pick. Pittsburgh getting center Tommy Novak and defenseman Luke Shen. New Jersey Devils getting defenseman Brian Dumoulin from the Anaheim Ducks. Ducks in return getting Herman Traff, a 2025 second-round pick, Edmonton or Winnipeg, and they retain 50% of Dumoulin's salary. Vegas Golden Knights getting right winger Riley Smith, and they retain 50% of his salary. The Rangers in return getting Brendan Brisson and a 2025 third-round pick from San Jose. Florida Panthers getting goalie Kaapo Kähkönen. Jets getting Chris Driedger in return. New York Rangers getting defenseman Carson Soucy from the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver gets a 2025 third-round pick with San Jose. This is also on March 6th. Minnesota getting right winger Justin Brazel. Boston Bruins in return getting Jacob Lauko, Marat Koznunov, and a sixth-round pick in 2026. Colorado Avalanche getting Brock Nelson and William Dufour from the Islanders. Islanders in return get Callum Ritchie, Oliver Killington, 2026 first-round pick, conditional 2028 third-round pick. But then the Ducks went ahead and acquired Oliver Killington, and the Islanders get future considerations for that. Edmonton Oilers getting defenseman Jake Wallman from San Jose in exchange for the forward Carl Berglund and a 2026 conditional first-round pick. Washington Capitals acquiring Anthony Beauvillier from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh getting a 2025 second-round pick in exchange for that. LA Kings acquiring Andrei Kuzmenko, 2025 seventh-round pick. Philly getting a 2027 third-round pick. Ottawa Senators getting Dylan Cousins, Dennis Gilbert, and a 2026 second-round pick. The Buffalo Sabres in return getting Josh Norris and Jacob Bernard Docker. Winnipeg Jets acquiring Luke Shen from the Pittsburgh Penguins. In return, Pittsburgh getting a second-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-round pick in 2027. Winnipeg Jets acquiring Brandon Tanov from the Seattle Kraken. Kraken get a 2027 second-round pick in return for that. Toronto Maple Leafs acquiring Scott Lawton, a fourth-round pick and a sixth-round pick from the Philadelphia Flyers. Philly in return gets Nikita Grabenkin, conditional pick in 2027 first round, and they retain 50% of Lawton's salary. The big move of the trade deadline for me, the Dallas Stars getting right wing Mikko Rantanen from the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes get Logan Stankoven, 2 first-round picks in 26 and 27, as well as 2 third-round picks in 26 and 27. Colorado Avalanche acquiring Charlie Coyle from the Boston Bruins, as well as a 2026 fifth-round pick. In exchange, the Boston Bruins acquiring Casey Middlestad, left winger Will Zellers, and a 2025 second-round pick. Detroit Red Wings acquiring Peter Mrazek and Craig Smith from the Chicago Blackhawks. Blackhawks in return get Joe Veleno. Columbus Blue Jackets acquiring Luke Kunin from the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks get a 2025 fourth-round pick from St. Louis. New Jersey Devils acquiring forward Cody Glass. Third-round pick going to Pittsburgh in return. 3-team trade between Toronto, Boston, and Pittsburgh. Toronto Maple Leafs acquiring Brandon Carlo and future considerations from the Penguins. The Bruins getting Fraser Minton in the first-round pick. Penguins get Connor Timmins and Connor Dewar. Another major move, the Florida Panthers acquiring Brad Marchand from the Boston Bruins. In return, the Bruins get a conditional 2027 second-round pick. Ottawa Senators acquiring Fabian Zetterlund, Tristan Robins, and a fourth-round pick. San Jose in returns get Zach Ostapchuk, Noah Gregor, and a 2025 second-round pick. Chicago Blackhawks acquiring Victor Soderstrom, Aku Rati, and defenseman Shea Weber's contract from the Utah Hockey Club, and the Hockey Club gets the 2026 sixth-round pick. New York Rangers acquiring Nicholas Aube-Kubel from the Buffalo Sabres. Sabres in return get Eric Brandstrom. Colorado Avalanche acquiring defenseman Eric Johnson. Philadelphia Flyers in return get Giovanni Smith. Boston Bruins acquiring Henry Jokiharju from the Buffalo Sabres. Sabres get a 2026 fourth-round pick from the Edmonton Oilers. Boston Bruins acquiring Daniil Misyul from the New Jersey Devils. In return, the Devils get Mark McLaughlin. And the New Jersey Devils acquiring Dennis Chalowski and from the New York Islanders. And the Islanders in return get Adam Beckman. All right. So, MF, you heard all the moves from the NHL trade deadline. So, I know you were on top of some moves. If there's anything you want to share, feel that if I might have missed anything, feel free. But NHL trade deadline 2025, your thoughts? Who are the big winners?
Yeah, no. I honestly say that you can make an argument that that Dallas definitely won and Colorado. I thought Colorado did an amazing job with their moves, and they might be a Stanley Cup contender. Obviously, I just don't think that there's really other. You covered everything that needed to cover, so for me, let's get right into the big one. Let's get into the conference championships.
All right, and I do agree. Dallas. I thought the Dallas Stars were the big winners of the trade deadline. You could also make an argument for Florida too. I mean,
yeah, Florida did pretty well.
Brad Marchand. Whoa.
Yeah, that one. Let me tell you, because me and Anthony are from the Boston area, man, there was a lot of angry Bruin fans when that one hit. Well, that's all I can say.
Absolutely, and we'll keep an eye on any other future moves, should there be any. So, all right, so we get now into our main event of the evening. This is one of our favorite times of the year. MF, let me tell you, we're currently in a great time to be alive right now because we've got spring training in baseball. Baseball season starts in 2 weeks, if you can imagine that. We got the Stanley Cup playoffs on the horizon. We got the NBA playoffs on the horizon. Of course, we're fully now on the road to WrestleMania. You thought all of that could, and of course the UFL coming back in a couple weeks as well. But the best part about the spring, it's championship week in college basketball. And I can't believe we're already here. College basketball championship week, you know what that means. Conference tournaments. And we start with good old MF's conference, the ACC. MF, I got to tell you, with the way these games have been playing out, especially that game a little while ago, you're looking at an all-timer here. I mean,
oh yeah,
man, oh man, alive. Let's break it down here. ACC tournament from the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, the home of the NBA Charlotte Hornets. First round game started on Tuesday, and we saw number 12 seed Notre Dame defeat number 13 seed Pittsburgh 55-54. California, the 15 seed, defeating number 10 seed Virginia Tech 82-73 in overtime. And then in the nightcap, the 14 seed Syracuse defeating number 11 seed Florida State 66-62. Second round was yesterday. Number 8 seed Georgia Tech defeating number 9 seed Virginia 66-60. Number 5 seed North Carolina, no trouble with number 12 seed Notre Dame, 76-56. Number 7 seed Stanford, defeating 15 seed California, 78-73. Number 6 seed SMU, defeating number 14 seed Syracuse, 73-53. Quarterfinal action today. Good news, bad news here. The number 1 seed Duke, they defeated Georgia Tech 78-70, but MF, your star player, Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
And I know for the last several hours you have been absolutely holding your breath because I know how damn valuable that young man is to Duke.
Yeah, unfortunately, from what I've been told, it is a high ankle sprain. As of now, he will not be back for the ACC tournament. However, they're very positive that he should be back in time for next week, which is the NCAA tournament. So Cooper Flagg's ACC tournament may be done. However, they do believe he should be back for the tournament. Right now, it's being dubbed, or it's being talked about. It's being announced that it is an ankle injury, an ankle sprain, I should say. They saying that I guess they did the X-rays. X-rays came back negative. That's good news.
Yes.
So there was no fracture, no nothing there. They did say that they were going to wait to see once the swelling went down to see how far it was going to be. But even John Shire, the head coach, basically saying, yeah, it's very unlikely, almost downright doubtful that he might be back for the rest of the ACC tournament.
Oof. That's we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Number 5 seed North Carolina defeating number 4 seed Wake Forest 68-59. MF, you're getting Duke and Carolina in a semifinal.
I know.
How you like it?
Oh man, it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts. You know Duke Carolina. You know how that goes. You know the rivalry. You know how deep it is. Anytime that and it doesn't matter if it's in a regular game, regular season game. We always get 2 of them, or if it's an ACC tournament game or NCAA tournament. Normally, when it's ACC, it's magnified. This time around, it's in the semifinal, not the final, but still, there's much excitement and there's a lot to play for. For North Carolina, they're literally playing for their tournament lives right now. Yes. They are literally on the outside looking in right now. I know Joe Lunardi did say that they have them as the last 4 in as of now. But if North Carolina really, really, really wants to be in the tournament and does not want to be playing in Dayton in the play-in, they need to knock off Duke tomorrow. Duke right now, they are guaranteed a 1 seed. They're right now firmly in one of the top 4 spots going into the tournament. I think if Duke wins, there's a real legit argument you could make Duke the number 1 overall going into the tournament. So there's a lot riding on that game more than anything else. And oh, by the way, Anthony, it's the first game out of the gate. We get it at 7:00 tomorrow night.
And that will be on ESPN. So, and then, all right. What was that ending to Stanford and Louisville? What the heck? What did I see in that?
You know what? Yeah.
Screaming Michael Fletcher alert.
Yeah.
Complete with an oh my and can you believe it?
Yeah.
You have to see. You got to see the ending to believe it. I mean,
yeah.
That was one of the nuttiest endings I have ever seen. Louisville was going for a 3 to win. Edwards was going for a 3 to win. It went off the rim. Stanford had the ball. The young man who had the ball had a little case of the Butterfingers, and it ended up in the hands of Chucky Hepburn. And Chucky Hepburn says, "Thank you very much." Bam. Ball game. Louisville, the 2 seed, defeating 7 seed Stanford 75-73. Louisville in the semifinals, and they will await the winner of the number 3 seed Clemson versus number 6 seed SMU. With the way this game is going, I think some bonus commentary might be in order here. I mean, 52-51 Clemson with about 3 minutes to go.
We'll keep an eye. We'll keep an eye. I'm not gonna say yes or no yet, but if it gets close enough, we might have to. We'll see.
So Carolina and Duke in the first semifinal, and then the second semifinal at around 9:30 or so tomorrow night. Number 2 seed Louisville will square off against number 3 seed Clemson or number 6 seed SMU, and then from there, the 2 winners tomorrow night will then meet on Saturday night at 8:30 on ESPN for the ACC championship in Charlotte. For me, right now, even without Cooper Flagg, I still got to go with Duke to win the ACC tournament. But I'm keeping a very close eye on Louisville, and I'm also keeping a very close eye on Clemson as well. But I would not at all be surprised if Carolina upsets Duke, especially with Cooper Flagg out. That is a golden opportunity for North Carolina to pull a major upset. So, but right now, I think Duke is still the team to beat. But like I said, MF, watch out for Louis. I got my eye on Louisville, especially after what I saw tonight. And I've also got an eye on Clemson as well, because Clemson, I believe, was the only team to beat Duke in conference play this year.
Yes, they were.
So, all right, I got to go with your Dukies right now, MF, for now. So, who do you got winning your conference?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying right now. I kind of feel like Duke is right now the odds-on favorite to win. The Cooper Flagg injury definitely does put a little bit of some scare in me right now, because right now it's going to be very interesting to see. I believe North Carolina definitely could have a shot at this as well because of their journey and everything that they did up to this point. But yeah, I mean, with the way that this thing has been looking, it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. But at the end, I still feel like it's Duke to win. I think Duke is definitely the favorite, and I do believe that they should get the job done. So I really got nothing more to say. So Anthony, next conference.
And we're gonna go to my conference now, the Big East tournament, from the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, New York City. It started yesterday. All 3 of the games were exclusively on Peacock, believe it or not. So let's break it down here. It started with the 8-9 matchup. Number 8 seed Providence versus number 9 seed Butler. Butler won the game 75-69. They advanced, and they advanced to a showdown with the top team, the best team in the Big East, the biggest surprise in college basketball this season by a mile, the St. John's Red Storm. We already had one second round matchup already set, and that was the number 4 seed Xavier versus number 5 seed Marquette. I will have something to say about that in a minute. If you didn't see that game today, oh wow! Getting back to last night, number 7 seed Georgetown versus number 10 seed DePaul. DePaul pulls off the upset 71-67. And in the nightcap, number 6 seed Villanova versus number 11 seed Seton Hall. Villanova wins that one by a score of 67-55. Quarterfinal action taking place today. The number 1 seed, St. John's, no trouble with Butler whatsoever. 78-57. St. John's advances to the semifinals, which will be tomorrow night on Fox. Because remember, SmackDown's no longer on Fox. It's on USA. So Fox can do these games now, not on FS1. Xavier and Marquette. Oh my God, what a game. The number 5 seed Marquette defeating number 4 seed Xavier 89-87, and it sets up. All right, MF, you got Carolina and Duke in a semifinal in your conference. I'm going to raise you a Marquette versus St. John's semifinal. Did you see that wild game from last Saturday in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Did you see that finish?
And I'll openly admit, normally, whenever you get these type of battles, you normally get the one that stands out, and you're thinking, my goodness, this will be great, whatever you want to say. And now all of a sudden, here we go. Oh, man. So, yeah.
Go back and watch that Marquette and St. John's game in Milwaukee last Saturday. What a finish that was. That was an insane finish. So St. John's and Marquette will meet again tomorrow night. First semifinal, 6:30 tomorrow night on Fox. The game of the tournament so far. The DePaul Blue Demons, the number 10 seed, looking to make a Cinderella run in this Big East tournament. They went up against the number 2 seed, the Creighton Blue Jays, and they literally had Creighton on the ropes. But Creighton would not be denied. Creighton, I don't know how the hell they did it, but they found a way to get it done. And Creighton came all the way back and defeated DePaul in overtime, 85-81. Creighton advances to the semifinal, and they will await the winner of number 3 seed UConn and number 6 seed Villanova. That game currently going on right now. 43-41 Villanova, 13:40 to go in regulation. And Villanova will add to their lead. Oh, what a sledgehammer of a dunk right there. So 45-41 Villanova. We'll keep an eye on that, but we got some craziness going on with SMU and Clemson. I think we're gonna be getting to that in a matter of moments here. So it's 56-52 Clemson with 46.4 seconds. SMU at the free throw line, but we'll keep an eye on that. And UConn and Villanova, whoever wins that will meet Creighton. If I'm going to be honest with you, when it comes to the Big East, I got to go with St. John's. I mean, St. John's has been a team on a mission. Say what you want about Rick Pitino. I know Rick Pitino has done some heinous things in the past. I know he's got some baggage. I know that, and I'm aware of that, and I understand that. But you can't deny. I honestly and personally think this is his personal best coaching job he has ever done. Taking a team that has hardly done anything in the last 25 or so years. It's been like almost 25 years since this school was relevant. And he could be on the verge of bringing St. John's back to prominence here. Because you remember, St. John's was a mainstay in the Big East, especially in the 80s with the late great Lou Carnesecca.
Anthony, I hate to do this. So I'm going to have to cut in here. Okay. We're going to have to do it. SMU versus Clemson, 12 and a half seconds, 2-point game. So you wanted it, you got it. Here we go. Okay. So 12 and a half seconds, SMU to inbound the ball. They took a timeout, and they do play it in with 10 seconds left. He tries to drive in the lane. Here's a three. Nope, that's off the rim. Rebound. Who touched it last? They're saying it was last touched by Clemson. 2.5 seconds remaining. And they're going to have to review it. So official review. We're going to go to the monitors. But they did say last touch by Clemson. 2.5 seconds left in the game. He drive the lane looking for the three, and it front rimmed. Then there was a big mad scramble, and actually the ball went out with 3.2 left. Did anybody touch it prior to it going out? Oh, wait. Did that get touched by an SMU player? Oh, wait a minute. This might be interesting. They go to ground. It looks like 33 of SMU touched it first before it went out. If that's correct, that should be Clemson's ball. That looks wicked close, but it looked like 33 of SMU may have touched this before number 1 of Clemson, Hunter, may have touched this. Let's see. It looked like initially that the ball it looked like it was last touched by SMU, but I don't know for sure. That looks extremely close. Actually, from there, it looked like Hunter touched it last. So, what we do have is we're going to have two factors here. Number one, the possession of the ball. Right now, it was the referees on the court said last touch by Clemson, SMU possession. And two, how much time was left on the clock. But prior to the stoppage, it was at 2.5. Obviously, when the ball went out of bounds, the ball went out with 3.6 remaining. So it looks like it will be SMU's ball with 3.5 seconds remaining in the second half. But we need to wait on both fronts. It looks very close. That ball could have gone a number of different ways, but it looks like the ball went out there. So 3.5 is definitely the time of possession. And they say Clemson ball! Oh my!
Wow. What a big call. I mean, if it was called Clemson ball on the floor, I get why you wouldn't overturn it. But it was called SMU ball.
So now SMU needs to foul immediately. 3.2 left. Clemson now has possession. All right. So now SMU needs to look for a steal or an immediate foul. This changes everything. And now Clemson will use a timeout. They got 2 remaining. Wow, can you believe that? That is going to lead to some controversy, folks. It looked like on the court they got it right. Like, to be very honest with you, they did get it right. At least in my opinion, they got it right. However, whatever the case may be, it is now Clemson ball. 3.2 remaining in the second half. The winner advances to the semifinals of the ACC tournament tomorrow night, 9 p.m., immediately following Duke in North Carolina. They will play the winner of they'll play Louisville, well, if you just remember about a couple hours ago, one of the most wildest endings you'll ever see in a college basketball game. All right, here we go. Possession. They get it. Immediate foul. 2.1 left. And Hunter goes to the line. He's 4 for 6. Chase Hunter is an 88% free throw shooter. He is 4 for 6. However, he did miss 2. But these are the most important 2 free throws that he's got to shoot right now. 2 free throws on the way. If he gets them both, you could pretty much put it in the bucket. It'll be game over. Here we go. Hunter, the first one. He got the first. 57. And now the second free throw. This is the all-important one. If he nails this one, it is game over. He missed it. There's a chance. Throws it up. Not even close. Game over. Clemson wins. The Clemson Tigers advances to the semifinals of the ACC tournament. They win it by the final score of 57-54. Anthony Florio, back to you. Clemson has made their 4th ACC semifinal under Brad Bonwell, and they will take on Louisville tomorrow night after Duke versus North Carolina.
Again, I say we're looking at an all-timer of an ACC tournament here. I mean, I believe you got the 4 best teams in the semifinals, and I cannot wait to see how these both play out tomorrow night. It's gonna be something else. So congratulations to Clemson. And so we've got North Carolina versus Duke to be followed by Clemson and Louisville. So now I'm going to keep an eye on my game now, which is Villanova and UConn. 48-46 Villanova, a little over 10 minutes to go in regulation. Keep in mind that MF is a little bit ahead of me based on the devices that we have. So MF is eons ahead of me. So, but we'll see what happens with that. So, all right. As I was saying beforehand, St. John's, I believe, is the team to beat in the Big East. I will not be surprised if Marquette gives them hell again, like they did last Saturday in that insane regular season finale at Fiserv Forum. Insane game. That had a nutty finish. You got to see to believe. And I think we're in for another classic with those two. So, as I was saying, St. John's, say what you want about Rick Pitino. And I know Rick Pitino's got a lot of baggage. But Rick Pitino, I believe, right now is doing his personal best coaching job that I've ever seen. To take a team that has been irrelevant for so many years in St. John's, that has been a middle-of-the-road, bottom-feeder type team, to take them all the way to the top of the Big East and could possibly be 2 wins away from winning the Big East tournament. They won the regular season for the first time in nearly 40 years since the days of Lou Carnesecca. I mean, just absolutely nutty what this team has what this team has done this year. And it has been a long time since I mean, they haven't won the Big East tournament since the year 2000. 2000, 25 years. That's the last time St. John's won the Big East tournament. They won the regular season for the first time since the days of Lou Carnesecca. I mean, just absolutely mind-boggling to see what this team has done. And I believe St. John's is the team to beat when it comes to the I believe they're the team to beat when it comes to the Big East tournament. So I'm going with St. John's to win the Big East. I don't know who they'll go. I don't know who it'll be against because that could go either way. I mean, Creighton in the semis, Villanova and UConn. I mean, say what you want. I mean, UConn. UConn could get them. I mean, Nova could get them. UConn has just taken the lead. Villanova has pretty much had a stranglehold on this game for the longest time, but UConn has just gone on a big run, and UConn has just taken their first lead since an early 8-7 lead early in the first half. So there is a chance we might have bonus commentary on this, but only this time from me. So, but for right now, I'm going with St. John's to win the Big East. So, MF, looking at the Big East tournament here, I got to go with St. John's when it comes to this. But there are other teams to keep an eye out for, like your Marquettes, like your Creightons, your UConns, maybe even a Villanova. But I got to go with St. John's for right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think St. John's definitely would be the best team out there, and I do believe that they should win the Big East. I would say right now it might be St. John's and maybe UConn. But again, we don't know how Villanova is going to look right now. It is a tight game. It is wicked close right now.
Mm-hmm.
It can go either way. But yeah, no, I would say right now I would probably say keep a very close eye on it. And yeah, I would say I would agree with what your sentiment is, and I would say as well I would probably openly predict and say that it'll probably be St. John's winning the Big East and winning it in Madison Square Garden. So yeah, nothing more to say, Anthony. Next conference.
And the Big East championship game will be Saturday night at 6:30 on Fox. So with that, let's move on to the Big Ten tournament from the Gamebridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Games started yesterday, and those games were also exclusive on Peacock as well. Number 13 seed Northwestern defeating number 12 seed Minnesota 72-64. Number 15 seed Iowa upsetting number 10 seed Ohio State 77-70. The game of the tournament so far. Number 14 seed USC upsetting number 11 seed Rutgers 97-89 in overtime. And then games that took place today. Number 8 seed Oregon defeating number 9 seed Indiana 72-59. Number 5 seed Wisconsin defeating number 13 seed Northwestern 70-63. Another wild game. Number 7 seed Illinois defeating number 15 seed Iowa 106-94. And number 6 seed Purdue holding off number 14 seed USC 76-71. So we've got all chalk when it comes to the quarterfinals. And these games tomorrow will all be exclusive on the Big Ten Network. It starts at 12 noon with the number 1 seed, Michigan State Spartans, squaring off against the number 8 seed, Oregon Ducks. Around 2:30 or so tomorrow, it will be the number 4 seed, UCLA Bruins, squaring off against the number 5 seed, Wisconsin Badgers. 6:30, and then in the night games, number 2 seed, Maryland Terrapins, squaring off against the number 7 seed, Illinois Fighting Illini. And then in the nightcap, number 3 seed, Michigan Wolverines, squaring off against the number 6 seed, Purdue Boilermakers. Semifinal matchups will be Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. on CBS. And then the championship game Sunday afternoon at 3:30 on CBS with Ian Eagle, Grant Hill, Bill Raftery, and Tracy Wolfson. So Oh man, this Big Ten can literally go either way. Right now, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think Michigan. I think Michigan's. Excuse me. Right now, I've got Michigan State as the favorite. I think Michigan State, to me, is the odds-on favorite. But keep an eye on Michigan. I would also say keep an eye on Maryland. And as far as dark horses go, I got to say Illinois. Illinois could be a dark horse. But if I'm going to be honest with you, I got to say right now, the favorite for me, MF, right now, my early betting line favorite for the Big Ten tournament is the Michigan State Spartans and Tom Izzo.
Yeah, fair enough. And I totally agree with your sentiment on that one too. And I would also make an argument that they are the favorite and that they should win it. So yeah, I don't think there's really much for us to say on that one. Yeah, I do think Michigan State wins it, and I do believe. I honestly think that we could get Michigan versus Michigan State at the end. I think that might be the Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis. I just feel like they're on a collision course right now. But don't be surprised if Purdue pulls off an upset here. Obviously keep an eye on Illinois as well. They could do something here, but I think right now Sparty might be the favorite going in, so I think Sparty could win this. So nothing more to say, Anthony. Next conference.
And we're going to go to the Big 12 conference. From the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri, games started. Their games actually started on Tuesday as well. They had 4 playing games. The number 16 seed Colorado upsetting number 9 seed TCU 69-67. How about that? Number 13 seed Cincinnati, they smashed number 12 seed Oklahoma State 87-68. Number 10 seed Kansas State defeating number 15 seed Arizona State 71-66. Number 14 seed UCF defeating number 11 seed Utah 87-72. Second round games that went down on Wednesday. The number 16 seed did it again. 16 seed Colorado upsetting number 8 seed West Virginia 67-60. Number 5 seed Iowa State, no trouble with number 13 seed Cincinnati 76-56. Number 7 seed Baylor defeating number 10 seed Kansas State 70-56. What a game between number 6 seed Kansas and number 14 seed UCF. Kansas winning 98-94 in overtime. And then games that took place today. Number 1 seed is Houston. They put an end to Colorado's Cinderella dreams. Houston defeating Colorado 77-68. But a game effort by the Colorado Buffaloes. Mad respect for you guys. Number 4 seed BYU. Number 5 seed Iowa State. BYU wins that one. Another wild game, 96-92. Number 2 seed Texas Tech. They defeated number 7 seed Baylor. They survived them 76-74. And then in an MF special, number 3 seed Arizona, number 6 seed Kansas. How about that? Arizona and Kansas in the Big 12 tournament. Wow. How many times did we see them square off in the tournament? And how many of those did an MF call? I mean,
yeah. I've done a good handful in my history, and each time they've always been good.
And this one was as well. It was Arizona outlasting Kansas 88-77, and we've got all chalk in the semifinals. First semifinal, 6 p.m. ESPN2. Both semifinals will be on ESPN2. Number 1 seed Houston versus number 4 seed BYU at 6 p.m. And then at 8:30 p.m. in the other semifinal, number 2 seed Texas Tech versus number 3 seed Arizona. Oh, and Matt, try to pick a winner out of those 4.
I got to go Houston. I think Houston wins it. I just feel like they're the best team out there. They are number 2 in the country right now. So they're holding one of the top 4 spots in that NCAA tournament. And they have a gripe that if Duke falls, there's a chance Houston could be the number one overall seed going into the NCAA tournament. So they got to continue what they're doing. They got to keep playing the way they're playing. I just feel like it's going to be Houston and Texas Tech at the end. I think those are the two teams that's going to go at it. I would love to see Arizona sneak in there, but I feel like Houston's right now the top team. So I think Houston's going to win the Big 12. So, Anthony, it's yours.
I gotta go with Houston as well. But if the winner of that Texas Tech Arizona game is definitely going to give Houston major fits.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If it's Texas Tech, that's going to be a fight. That's going to be a fight.
Ooh yeah.
That's going to get very interesting. I don't know how Arizona will handle against Houston, but I know Texas Tech will give Houston fits.
And I stand corrected. It'll be 7 p.m. tomorrow.
You were going by the central time zone. That's why. So you were going by that. Yeah.
7 p.m. for Houston and BYU. Approximately 9:30 for Texas Tech and Arizona, and the championship game at 6 p.m. on Saturday from the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. So, but yes, I'm with you, MF. I got Houston winning it as well. Our final Power 5 conference, the Southeastern Conference, the SEC, the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. And we've had some wild games in this tournament. Oh, boy, have we had some wild games already. Let's see. First round game started on Wednesday. Number 9 seed, Arkansas, holding off the 16 seed, South Carolina, 72-68. Number 13 seed, Texas, defeating number 12 seed, Vanderbilt, 79-72. Number 10 seed, Mississippi State, smashing number 15 seed LSU 91-62. And then number 14 Oklahoma upsetting number 11 Georgia 81-75. Second round games that took place today. Number 8 seed Ole Miss defeating number 9 seed Arkansas 83-80. Don't look now, but here come the Texas Longhorns. They're the 13 seed in the SEC tournament. And they upset the number 5 seed Texas A&M 94-89 in double overtime. And number 7 seed Missouri defeating number 10 seed Mississippi State 85-73. And at this hour, we have the number 6 seed Kentucky Wildcats squaring off against the number 14 seed, the Oklahoma Sooners. And I'll get that one for you in just a moment. So,
as a matter of fact, if this is accurate, I have Oklahoma 46-45 on top of Kentucky with over 15 minutes left in the second half. So there's plenty of time in this game.
In that game, and you can find that game on the SEC network. So,
yes.
And tomorrow, there are 4 games, but they will be split. The afternoon games will be on ESPN, and the night games will be on the SEC network. So here are we have 3 quarterfinal matchups set. The number 1 seed is Auburn. Auburn will square off with the number 8 seed Ole Miss. The number 4 seed, the Tennessee Volunteers, they're going to be squaring off against the Cinderella Story, the number 13 seed Texas Longhorns. The number 2 seed in the SEC is the Florida Gators, and they're squaring off against the number 7 seed Missouri Tigers. And the winner of number 6 Kentucky and number 14 Oklahoma will square off against the number 3 seed in the SEC, the Alabama Crimson Tide. So those games will be at 12 noon, and 12 noon is Ole Miss and Auburn, Texas and Tennessee at 2:30, Missouri and Florida at 6, and the winner of Kentucky and Oklahoma against Alabama. I did it again. 1 o'clock, 1 Eastern on ESPN, 3:30 approximately following that, and then 7 and 9:30 in the night games. And then 1 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. on Saturday will be the semifinals on ESPN. And then at 1 p.m. on Sunday, the championship game on ESPN from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, try to pick a winner out of this group. Oh, this is not easy. This is not easy at all. Right now, if anybody would ask me who do I like in the SEC, I got to give a slight edge to Auburn. There's just something about Auburn that's calling me. Excuse me. There's just something about Auburn this year that has really impressed me. But keep a watch out for Florida. Florida could easily win this as well. Alabama could easily win this. The teams to beat for me are Auburn, Florida, and Alabama. But all I can say is, do not let Texas hang around. You let Texas hang around, Texas is going to cause trouble. And they are causing some major problems, just like Colorado did in the Big 12. Keep in mind, MF, Colorado was a 16 seed in the Big 12 tournament. They won 2 games, and they gave Houston some major fits today as well. So you got to get Texas out of there, because if you keep Texas around, Texas is going to be very, very scrappy and pesky.
And not only that, but if you're a bubble team, you do not want to see one of these kind of pesky teams steal a spot, because that's the one thing you got to be afraid of, is that in these kind of tournaments where an automatic bid is up for grabs, you don't want one of these pesky, teams that has no business to be in the tournament stealing a spot away from one of these bubble teams. So if you're in North Carolina, if you're one of these teams that is like right on the fringe, one of these first 4 in, like last 4 in, first 4 out, you don't want to see Texas. You don't want Texas to go on this run. You want somebody to snuff them out like right now. So Tennessee gets that shot tomorrow. And I think the Volunteers might put them out. They might. You don't know. But if they don't put them out, now we're talking. Now you're thinking, uh-oh. Are we about to see an upset here? Is Texas about to do something that nobody saw coming? And if they do, and if they win the tournament, if they win this SEC, this is going to be a nightmare, because that means one of these bubble teams, one of these teams that are either the last 4 in or the first 4 out, they lose one of their spots, because now Texas automatically gets in. That means the committee has to put them in no matter what. So,
but right now, for me anyways, I got to give the slight edge to Auburn, but watch out for Florida and Bama.
Yep.
What says you?
I agree. Auburn wins the conference. I do believe they're the best team right now. The way they've been playing all year long, 27-4 on the season, and they've been amazing, man. They have not. It doesn't look like they've really had any major problems. They haven't had a major threat up to this point. And but you gotta be careful here, because the one team that they did get upended by was A&M, and that was not too long ago. And they lost to Alabama, by the way. They lost the last 2 games. So I mean, I kind of feel like they probably were coasting their way through. But like you said, the 3 teams that you talked about, the teams that you were talking about, like that. I think you said, let me see, hold on. Did you mention Bama? I thought you did.
Yeah, Bama. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bama, Florida.
Bama gets the winner of Kentucky and Oklahoma.
Okay, that's why I didn't. That's why I didn't see that. Okay, but Bama definitely keep an eye on, because by the way, Auburn lost to Bama earlier in the year, and then on top of that, Florida also beat Auburn earlier in the year as well. So, I mean, those are the two teams that you were talking about, Anthony. That could be interesting, but I do believe Auburn will figure it out. I do believe they'll win it. So that's my prediction. Auburn wins it, and there's really nothing else to say. That should wrap us up for the night. It's all yours.
Yeah. UConn starting to pull away a little bit. UConn starting to flex their muscle here. So I don't think any bonus commentary is going to be needed on that one. So, but anyways, that will put the bow on this edition of TXN Sports World. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. MF, why don't you set the table for tomorrow night? Cerebral Smack Talk. What's going on?
Well, it's a big one, man. So tomorrow night, as always, we will start it off with TNA wrestling. Basically, we'll have a brand new show on that, and then SmackDown Live. That's going to start at 11 p.m. Eastern, immediately following SmackDown, right here on the Braves Fan 95, YouTube.com, StreamYard.com, and until then, Anthony, it's yours.
Yes, indeed. So, oh, by the way, SmackDown from Barcelona, Spain. Oh, by the way.
Yes, so indeed.
We start the international tour. So you're going to get some taped SmackDowns, I'm afraid. But the Raws will be live, but it'll be Monday afternoon Raw for us, not Monday Night Raw. And we know how those international crowds can be. So I can't wait to see how these all play out. So that's tomorrow, TNA Impact, Friday Night SmackDown, 11 p.m. immediately following SmackDown. MF will have it for Ace Fan 95. And then Sunday night, at a very special start time of 9 p.m. Eastern, unless otherwise noted, Sunday night at 9 p.m., it will be our 2025 TXN Sports World Selection Sunday Special. We will unveil the 68-team bracket for the 2025 NCAA tournament. We'll go region by region. We'll do our predictions as we always do. And we'll let you know who we ultimately think will cut down the nets in San Antonio, Texas at the Alamo Dome when all is said and done. So that'll be on Sunday. And then Tuesday, 10:30 on Tuesday, we got another edition of Ridiculously Raw, as we will have Monday Night Raw from Brussels, Belgium, which will feature the first appearance of John Cena since what WWE at least is calling the greatest heel turn of all time. So we'll see how that plays out on that. And of course, we also have NXT, and MF and I will also have our thoughts on the TNA Sacrifice special, and then we'll take it from there. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk on MF's channel, Raceway 95, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF, Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, Michael Bullock. And of course, always and forever, our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching TXN Sports World right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.